Hey people, I cracked the case on this word I've been working on for a long time. It's the one they say it means the brought you out of Egypt, the evicts, and it reads many different ways. But I'm going to tell y'all a story first. About 1611, back in the King James era, all the grown-ups were going out to dinner and a show, and they were going by Ruth Chris to get something to eat and going to a Shakespearean. And Mom says, that the kids just ain't ready for this. We got to get them something too. And so they dropped by and got them a McDonald's Happy Meal and dropped them off at the game room to play. And so they did this every time. The kids enjoyed it so much, They did this every time. And the kids never grew up to appreciate the Shakespeareans, and they would rather play games at the game room and get a Happy Meal. And so as they got older and had kids, they didn't know how to culture their kids into Shakespeare, and their kids grew up on Happy Meals. And now, Shakespeare is almost totally forgotten about. And so I get accused of being satanic for reading this Hebrew Bible. I don't care where my information's coming from, but I know, I get accused of being a Satanist or an atheist. I'm getting information from somewhere, and I don't care where it comes from, because I get good information. And I know that the God's real. The Spirit's real. I see it most every day. And I see it. I saw it when I found this. And if you're still with me, I'm going to show you some stuff that'll shock you, some everyday words that you have no idea what they mean. So after I did that movie on Dracula yesterday, I plugged the drive into my Torah, and I went to searching at where it was, and it doesn't come up often. I think maybe 3 times in total. It comes up mixed up in a word, but I found it here in this Exodus 3. And I was listening to Jacob Israel talk about this just yesterday. And I know I've read this before, but I really got it down now. And this is it in Exodus 3:8, and it comes up just like it did before with the wall and in the word, where it reads in both directions. So it starts with the W this time. It's the ward, W-A-R-D. The ward of exile, L is of, E-X-I-L, 2, Bob, of exile 2. The ward of exile 2, that's like a prison where you're fixing to be loaded onto the ship. The ward of exile 2. And then reads back the other way. Will its sail draw the mid from cries? Will its sail draw? To draw, means to bring to. And so up at the top of this, in the Happy Meal, it tells a story about Moses talking to God in a burning bush, and he's telling him to bring his people out. But in this Hebrew, it's telling a different story, and you can see it right here. Vav, and a Vav on the end. And Mosiah rode to, and backwards and forwards, no sun it true. Messiah rode to no sun it true. And so the road to no sun is a mark of time. Like the Indians would say, I've lived many suns. And so to road to no sun means that you ain't on nobody's clock. Means you the man in charge, you running things. Nobody telling you what time to be there. And Messiah rode to no sun it true. Chatting to con maiden when egg to. Anytime I like I'll stop and con the woman. And to no sex on her. And this one reads with this word here. This is backwards, N-O-X-E-X. To no sex, and then A-N-R. To no sex honor, and Ha, them dibber. Them dibber, this is the word for numbers. You know, in the book of Numbers, it's the same word. It's also a dibber is a planter, as you pecker. Ha, them dibber. How valor. V-A-L-A-R-E. You know, backwards and forwards. A valor, and then forward, R-E-A-L-E-Y-S. How valor realize her have. H-R-V-E. You know, you put V-E on the end of a word and it means have. You know, I have, I-V-E. We have, W-E-V-E. Then where from lack you will inhabit sass. You know, inhabit sass means to lab the sun, but it's written as to blab it sass. Where in lack you willpower backward. W-I-L-A is power. The willpower to blab it sass from took. The shiny how ravine. The shiny bare base and the shiny when not look. And you can see how that's poetry and it's rhyming from took and when not look. And then this is way home, or way means how or who. Ancient English word how or who, and homer means to command. And so how homer, how command most. This most is same as mush. It's what they holler at the dogs to make them run. It's what they holler at the slaves to make them pull the stone. When to command mush. The reason, the RSA, and then backwards for ANA. The reason, to era, to the army, EARME, the army. Maria, the godlies, medulla, backwards and forwards, reviver, the shiny, and this is written with the, so it rhymes with this, the army, with the shiny. But this is the army, the Maria is the ocean, this means the navy. And the godlies, that's all the gods in the stars, the godlies. Medulla, that means the middle. That's where your word middle come from. The medulla oblongata is that middle part in your brain. The medulla is your bone marrow. It means middle when you can tell that it's separate from the rest of it. When you see a plain, border between the middle and the outside, medulla would be found in the middle. To reviver, R-O-V-I-V-O-R, the reviver, the shiny, to make the shinies come back out at night, the shinies, when you see the shinies. Where you kiss her, of wrought, it means to work something into shape, where you kiss her of wrought. How for will, Amelia, will and then A backwards, M-I-E-L-A, the god of work, Amelia. Will Amelia from took, the shiny, who homer, mush, who command, mush, who command, honey. How Homer, lover, fat for bells. Fat for bells, that's a boat term. 4 bells means like Dr. Pepper's 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock is 4 bells. You have 8 bells striking every 4 hours at 8. 12 and 4. But this 4 bells is 10, 2, and 6, actually, not quite like Dr. Pepper. Fat 4 bells shall Kilon, Kilonollik, shall kill an olic. You know, an olic is too much of, something you live for. The killing, to live for killing. From all Regilik. Regilik doesn't mean the feet. This sometimes means fit when it's certain place when it's read backwards. But Regilik is, your whole regil, your whole army. Regil is the royal army, the Regilik. To give them fuse, raise it to, omid, allow, the time, decide, feds who. Time backwards, the time, DA, and then backwards and forwards, SD. Decide, feds who. The feds is making decisions who. Why Homer? Who command? I can yell. Give bail from here and yell. It's chef, valet joking, who stir the mush place to. Give your from the bite of Amelia hail is. And so it's chef, the valet. Valet is where your word volley come from, to pass the message on. Pass the message on to the chef. The joke in. So this is never Jacob. That's a V at the end. It's pronounced Jake Yaka. This is a V. It's never a B. So when it's backwards, it's the info joke in, and it means to look through the parable and see what it's meaning. But just this way, it's the joke in, the valet joke in, who stir the mush place to. The chef is one who's stirring the mush. The place to give you from the bite of Amelia. Amelia, the god of work. You work, you get fed. Amelia, hail is. Hail, the honor is a meal. Why Homer, you retai, to in seeing, INOCNINJ, in seeing. And so this is where your word ready comes from, but this isn't ready. It comes up again down here to mean ready, but this is the rate, and it means to out there fighting the moisture. It comes from this word, the rate, and it means exposed to moisture. You're out there on the deck getting rained on. You're not hidden inside. The rate to in seeing, homie, my people, my homies, raising from cries, raising from its rise, raising from cries, to from take ox of its smite, to take the most of the beating. You're out there in the rati, taking most of the beating. From the place niggas make to give, the hand see tie, ya, the hand, to O to see tie. The hand see tied to how in a comic in you. The economics in a comic. NAKMK, in a comic. How you make your money. And so you see a lot of these words that read backwards. That's the definition that they'll give them, to deliver them as will it sell. And And so, the ward of exile too, will it sell, draw mid from cries? Will hold to men, share hearts the who. The lesser are its thov, where have. The hold too, down in the hole is where they store in the cargo. The men share hearts. Hearts is a word for young buck, Harts. Hearts means the young, but the men share hearts. The men share the young bucks the who. The lesser are its thov. Thov is your thumbs up, is what thov means. It means a thumb, thov, thumbs up. The good, where have. The lesser are its zavit, have. Would vessel from whiffum fuse. The zavit, to cut in mark, z, to cut in mark. And then have, HLV, is divide of in, to a portion. This is the word that means a portion. Usually they give half as a portion, but half means a half. This is to have, to have, to cut in half. The zavit have, would vessel from whiffum fuse. The vessel, vessel is something that holds a product, is a vessel. From whiffum fuse, the cannon make to each tie. The canon means to write it down in the book, as the canon. The canon make to each tie. Somebody's sitting there writing down where everybody is. You're writing the VIN. And hammer make to the prize. To each who we make busy. To out then it's soft. In Nilers' rule, in Nilers' role, in the Nilers is somebody who works on a boat, Nilars. Somebody who works a boat on the Nile is called a Niler. His role, his job. The Baal to goes, it yar reti to. And this is the word that means ready here, is it yar. Yar is the ancient word meaning ready. Yar, set for action or ready. Archaic English. It yar reti. And so it's ready in the elements, out on the deck. And goes it yar ready to. And then backwards and forwards to exhale. Xhle. To exhale, let's raise from cries of hexes from two. Hexes, curses, of hexism two. From the cries of hexism two. They cussing you. And outlook was leak. The low harp row to evix. To homie in Nilers' roll from with its rise. And so the low harp row to evix is to bring out the low harp. It's talking like a musical. And when things are looking bleak, bleak is in leak. Leak means things ain't looking good for you. Bring out the low harp row. And so the low notes are the long strings. You know, if you're playing your guitar, the more you choke up on that string, the shorter you make it, the higher that note goes. But this is the low note here. This Saturn, it gets higher as they get closer. As the planets get closer to the Earth, the notes get higher. And the sun and the moon is the highest. The low B is Saturn. Saturn is death. Outlook was bleak. The low harp rode to Ajax, to bring it on out to make from homey in the Nilers' roll, from with its cries, from with its rise. So this is the line where I figured out where this Ajax came from, because you can see it doesn't have the E in it this time. It starts with the A and it reads backwards. Who Homer, who command, mush. Lamiel, hail is. Lamiel is the archangel of yellow ground cover. Lamiel, look up Lamiel and bring in Lamiel archangel, bring it to a yellow ground coverage plant in the family of the mints. To hail is my iconical low harp row to give Ajax to power, to give my iconical the low harp row to give Ajax to power to in Bing his roll from with its rise. And so yeah, this is backwards. AJX VA to power. And so that's what Ajax is known for, is I should bring it back. So you got two Ajaxes here, and Homer wrote about both of them, the great and the lesser. And so it says his name come from to lament, translating to the one who laments, the mourner, the crier. And so he was big, and he was known as the bulwark, and he was trained to fight, and he never receives assistance from any of the gods. But he's not known for going into war. He covers the retreat to bring it back. And the stories about him, it's always to retrieve something, to go bring back the body of Patroclus. Bring back the armor and protect the retreat. And that's where your word Ajax comes from, to retrieve is a better definition for it. And so that's how this base word, you know, here it begins with A, it reads backwards, the Ajax. The Ajax to power, that's what he does. He should bring it back. And that's why all the words associated with this, it means you may bring, or I brought you out of. And so it's only used 2 times like this. But every which way that this word will come up, and sometimes the word's not even close, that they'll give it this. Oh, it looks like 150 plus words in that category. But this is the most common. This that brought is Evix, EVXIA. And so you see backwards, that's the Ajax. And so when it has the tack in a word in front of it, that's when it'll read the Ajax to Evix. The Ajax to get you out. And that's why Ajax is used in your bathroom to get the stain out of your porcelain. And say why Homer mush Lamelia of the yellow ground cover. Hail his my iconical low harp row. So the icon of the low harp is the great seal of the Irish Free State. The Celtic is known as the Celtic seal, is the low harp, the Irish seal. And if you Google the Irish coat of arms, it's going to come up looking just like this. You see the harp is common. It goes on the Irish coat of arms. Irish coat of arms. Ooh, last line of this poem. How Homer give aye, backwards and forwards. Aye, Captain, will do. Amic use clock out. The amic is the study. Amic, the study use KLK, the clock out. You're out. You're clocked out. You're gone. To give icon Celtic, the Celtic. It evicts Jack too. More has from with cries, from with its rise, to bid when to bid when to Miel, Tomiel, hail his all, hear these, all hear this. Tomiel, hail his all, hear this. So Archangel Tomiel is the fallen angel, fifth mention in 20 Watchers. And so it also given the meaning Cassadai, and it means the Chaldean, the astrologer. Tomiel, the astrologer, the hidden power of the astrologer. From with its rise to Bidwin, Tomiel, the archangel of the hidden astrology, hail is all, hear this. So I'm not Irish, I'm not partial, I believe I'm French, I've always been told, and I see my name comes up a lot in Russia, and best chances are that them fallen angels was the Irish. That's why they find out that Ramesses had red hair and O negative blood type, and they spread their blood thick, they were spreading it, and we all got some Irish in us. That's what made us evolve to the creatures we are today. And so somebody's been fighting it and trying to get us to devolve. They're trying to get us to dumb down so we'll wear the chains without the chains, and they got us addicted to the money. And that's why the Irish have been treated so bad for so long. The Irish are the real Jews that was evicted out of Egypt. Alright, I'm going to cut this off here. A good day. Get away from that damn Happy Meal. It ain't no good for you. Happy Meal's trash.